Welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight at the bar, we've got the Lagavulin 16-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro there. I'm Tyler, and like I said, tonight at the bar, we've got the Lagavulin 16-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. What can I possibly say about the Lagavulin 16-year-old that hasn't already been said? I mean, after all, it's an absolute classic product from the Diageo line there. It's from one of the most renowned distilleries on Islay and in Scotland for that matter. And, you know, it is, after all, an absolute classic. So my palate has changed a little bit. I've tried different expressions from different parts, Islay, Highlands, the islands, lowlands, all that kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see how my palate has changed and if I'll still like the Lagavulin 16 as much as I did. This is really one of the drams that got me into Scotch whiskey, specifically into the peaty range. I remember the first time I ever had it, and it was delightful. But I'm curious to see if it holds up against other things I've tried. So we'll get into the history and the specs of the bottle. But before we do, if you got yourself some Lagavulin, if you got yourself some Ardbeg, Lafroig, something from Islay that it has some nice peat level to it there, and you want to pour yourself a dram and drink along with me, please do so. I encourage it. Makes it a heck of a lot better for you on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me. So we'll get into a little bit of the history on Lagavulin Distillery, and then we'll get into the specs. So the Lagavulin Distillery is located on the island of Islay in Port Ellen, and it's renowned for producing some of the world's finest single malt Scotch whiskies. And its history dates back to the 18th century, with the official founding of the distillery in 1816, which it clearly states on the bottle. The origins of distilling at Lagavulin can be traced back to 1742, when there was some illicit distilling going on in the area. The official distillery was established in 1816 by John Johnston. A year later, in 1817, a second distillery was founded in the same location by Archibald Campbell, and eventually the two merged under the name Lagavulin, which in Gaelic means "hallow by the mill." Throughout the 19th century, the distillery has changed hands several times. It was owned by Alexander Graham until 1862, then by James Logan Mackey and Company. Under Peter Mackey's leadership, the distillery thrived and became known for its distinct peaty flavor. Peter Mackey was also known as Restless Peter and was instrumental in expanding Lagavulin's reach and introducing such famous blends as the White Horse, which was included in Lagavulin's malt. In the latter half of the 20th century, Lagavulin became part of Diageo, one of the world's largest multinational alcoholic beverage companies, and Diageo helped Lagavulin maintain its stature as a premium whiskey brand. Over the years, Lagavulin's garnered numerous awards and celebrations for its rich peaty flavor, which is a hallmark of Islay whiskeys. Its 16-year-old expression is particularly revered by whiskey enthusiasts around the world. That is, after all, an absolute classic. Lagavulin continues to be the cornerstone of Islay's whiskey heritage, known for its robust and smoky character, attracting visitors and connoisseurs from all over the globe. And we're going to put that to the test today and see how it holds up against, a more experienced palate in myself, or, more experienced whiskey enthusiasts for sure. So let's go on the specs of the bottle of the Lagavulin 16-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. So sadly, it comes in with an ABV of 43%. It's chill filtered, and there is color added to it. From a smoky standpoint, ppm level comes in at 35 parts per million, and that's pre-distillation. Maturation process, they use second fill bourbon casks and mature it in sherry casks as well. So with that, we'll get on to the presentation of the Lagavulin. So I mean, I love Lagavulin's. I love Lagavulin the way it presents here. The box is classic. The bottle is classic. It's got the green tones to it. Not a whole lot of information on it. A little bit of lore about the distillery and its history and stuff. But, it was pretty hard to go and look for this information. But again, it's Diageo. They like to keep everything kind of under their hat and close to their chest. So, I found what I could find. And if you venture enough on the internet, you can definitely figure it out for sure. With that, we'll get into the pour. I've already kind of poured it out here. Let it air and sit out for a bit here because it's 16 years of age and I want to respect that. So I've already poured it. We'll just kind of go in close and look here. It's not natural color, obviously. So it's, it's meant to make you pull you in there. And I mean, it does with that nice amber color that's in there, very deep amber, and not really too much straw going on there, but very much a deep amber, and really meant to showcase and reflect those those casks and everything, and the good quality casks they're using and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's get into the nose on the Lagavulin single malt Scotch whiskey and see what we can get in there. So let's get into the nose now. Classic nose. And now you realize why this is an absolute classic, classic dram. So right out the get-go, I'm getting some nice sweet vanilla on there. Some ocean sea brine. Soft smoke, leathery smoke. Not an overly dirty smoke. Not iodine or medicinal, but it's campfire peat. And there's some nice soft leather in there. Some notes of caramel and toffee. Some citrus, maybe some orange peels in there as well. Yeah, it's very icing sugar-esque, you know, in line with that vanilla. Yeah, it's a very gentle classic nose. What else can I say? Yeah, so that let's get into the taste and see what we can get out of the Lagavulin 16-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. So, Slanja, to your health, and let's dive into it. Okay. So on the palate, very soft peat, but it is there, leathery. Campfire peat notes. The campfire is gone out for the night. It's kind of ashy. You get those that salty, sea breezy, briny note. So it's, you know, you took the you took a jug of salt water and poured it over the fire before you left and went for bed there. I get some black pepper. It's very subtle black pepper. Some cooked apples, maybe some red cooked apples on there. A little bit of orange zest, orange peel. I get a little bit of cherry on there as well. Yeah, again, primarily bourbon kind of flavor profile. There is a little bit of sherry in there as well, but it's prominently bourbon character in there. So that will get into the finish on the Lagavulin 16. I'll go in for a little sip and just confirm what I know. Okay. So finish-wise, flavor-wise, it's short. The peat does linger. It's gonna hang on to you're gonna hang on to that flavor for most of the night, I would say. Afterwards, it's not, you know, overbearing. It's not, you know, big boomy Kilchoman or Ardbeg or Lafroig, but it is very nice, subtle, but it is there. Very smooth and very easy. Reflective of the 43% ABV, and I think also reflective of that chill filtration that's there. You know, if you add ice to it, you're not going to have any cloudiness in your glass, but you're also losing a lot of those oils, which add a little and impart some more flavor as well. It's, you know, this is a classic dram. I can't sugarcoat it in any way, shape, or form because it just is. It's a great flavor profile, classic dram, and you know, I don't think personally there's a better fireside sipper than the Lagavulin 16, in my opinion. It's not super challenging. It's just an easy, smooth, fine-tasting dram, and I think that's all it needs to be. And I can see definitely why this has mass appeal and why it's well represented and purchased all over the world and in bars and whatnot. Used for cocktails, straight up, whatever. I can definitely see, you know, why this is a classic and why this is a favorite of many. But you know, with that, we gotta skip into the value proposition on the Lagavulin 60. So value-wise in Ontario, this one's all over the map. I've seen this in like the last year be as low as $120, $130 the LCBO. I've seen it as high as $180 the LCBO. Right now it sits at around $165, which I still think is a little steep. You can get the 8-year-old for about $100, and the 8-year-old is, you know, presented in more craft form. I don't know, you know, we don't get a lot of special releases in Ontario, but I think they would be somewhere around that mark. I think at $165, it's a little bit high, a little bit much. I know you can get it cheaper elsewhere, and you know, I would encourage you to go out and get it elsewhere for cheaper if you can get it, because it is just one of those staple drams to have on your bar when people are coming over. Is it going to be for the whiskey enthusiast? I think, you know, if you're a peat guy and you want something that's not overly complex and you're just looking for something easy to sip on, then yes. If you're looking for something that's purely craft for the enthusiast and, you know, all that presentation-wise, I would say you probably aren't going to like this one. You probably want to go down a different route. You probably want to go on to something that's more challenging, more craft presented, higher ABV, cask strength, what have you. But for like that, person who's getting into whiskey, this is definitely a dram you should definitely have on your bar and try. This is another one from my buddy Lucas. So again, thank you, Lucas, for allowing me to try out the Lagavulin 16-year-old and enjoy it on the bar and have a couple drams of it and reminisce about when I first had it. Personally, will I be purchasing this again? No, but with a disclaimer. The disclaimer is I definitely want to try some more in the Lagavulin range. The 8-year-old, I really want to try the 11-year-old Offerman edition if I can get it. But that's kind of where it is. So priced at $165, a little high, but if you're looking for a good quality, easy sipper that is not too complicated and something you're going to want to have on your bar, then I say you do you, go get it if you'd like it. Personally, I'll be passing on this. But yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on the Lagavulin 16-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. So if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire. And if you've hung around this long, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I enjoy doing this stuff. This is a great little side gig for me. I love chatting to people about it. Love chatting to you guys on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, and on YouTube. So keep those comments coming, and don't hesitate to ask me any questions. And yeah, so with that, I'll leave you with it. So Slanja, to your health, take care, all the best, and I'll see you around. Bye for now.